clothes on. Morning, Jermaine. All right.
8 a.m, Beech Tree Residential School near Preston, Lancashire. These children are not just physically and mentally handicapped, but are so disturbed that they frequently injure themselves and sometimes other people.
Morning, Jermaine.
Where's it? Where's your dressing gown? Hey, where's your... Where is it? Where is it? Let's look.
The young staff are trained in the highly specialised techniques of dealing with very disturbed children.
Oh, dear. Oh, Dave, look! Dave! Dave, look! Come here. Look, what is it? What is it?
14 children live here for a 2-year stay. It looks very relaxed, but underneath there's always a danger of self-injury. These children have been rejected everywhere else. Beech Tree is their last chance.
Need breakfast. Get your breakfast, Lou.
Wait. Knife down. Put your toes down. Put your head on, please. Good girl. Michael.
Lee, get your breakfast. You're doing very good. Release it. Sit down. Oi. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down. No. Jill, can you hurry up that form? Sit. Lee, sit. You don't sweep the table. Please stand.
Claire is so disabled, she has to be restrained before she injures herself or a member of staff. But she is just one of 14 very difficult children at Beech Tree.
It was set up by the Spastic Society not to try and meet the full demand. It was set up very much as an example to other people about what could be done with these particular children. We have quite deliberately over the years attempted to take the children whose behaviour has been most extreme. The reason being that we felt if we took children with a moderate challenging behaviour, that other people might say, well, it's easy with those kids, but we have got the worst kids, you know, here or wherever they happen to be. So we have tended to take the most extreme children to work with.
We see with our children quite often, we see some kind of self-injury. We see them maybe injuring themselves, hitting themselves, maybe biting on their hands, sufficient so that you can see that the skin's broken.
Right, now walk properly.
I know some children who've blinded themselves through injury to themselves, either through persistent, continual pushing in at the eye, through continual punching, or through injury to the skull or to the brain by continual banging of their head against a wall or something.
Down.
Claire, for example, blinded herself by repeated self-injury. She's recently had an operation to restore her sight. Her violent bouncing can cause concussion.
No. Put your hands down. Good girl, Claire. Good. Right. Now walk properly. No. Walk properly. No.
Classroom, show me classroom. Put your hands down. Lee, classroom, show me classroom. Look at it. Show me classroom, good boy.
Frustrated by their inability to communicate, these children hit themselves because it's the only way to get the attention they seek.
And you say, John, Chris. Good boy. Well done, John. Good boy. Luke. Andrew said Eve. Good boy, Andrew.
Look, you're not looking.
Eventually, the self-injury becomes habitual, and they become partially anaesthetised to some of the pain.
Put your hands down, Mark.
It's extraordinarily hard to change such behaviour once it's deep-rooted. Beechtree's technique is a system of simple rewards.
Good boy.
It's underpinned by 24-hour support, highly structured and very caring. It's a tried and trusted method, systematically applied.
Christine. Look. It's a great good girl.
I would think something about 80% of the children that we have in do make significant improvements and are able to transfer from our school, which is highly specialised, to, if I can use the term, ordinary special schools, perhaps schools for the deaf, schools for the cerebral palsy, schools for children with epilepsy and so on. Schools which they couldn't go to in the past because of their difficult behaviour. Now they're able to go and get the specialist help for their other handicaps.
Good boy, Andrew, you're playing nicely, good boy.
There are about 3,000 children in this country who injure themselves, but only 19 beds in specialised residential units, 14 at Beechtree. For thousands of children receiving no adequate help, the burden falls largely on the families. 12-year-old Paul Caddy, mentally handicapped and suffering from cerebral palsy, needs the intensive treatment Beechtree can offer. But the queue is so long, he's been waiting for a place for nearly 2 years.
Look, it's your favourite. Be good. No, Paul. Hey, come on. Eat your dinner. No. No. Paul, stop it. I'll take this away. Stop it now.
Come on, eat nicely so that Mum can eat hers. Now, come on, it's naughty, isn't it?
Paul, eat it up. Hands down.
How about a bite of bread? Hey, Paul. No. Come on. No. Nice bite of that.
He'll smack his face with his open hand like this, and he'll pull chunks of hair out. He also hits his legs, and recently he started to bite his shoulder here. He'll turn his head and bite his shoulder. And if you don't intervene, then he'll damage himself quite badly. You know, I mean, he'll make himself bleed. Make his head bleed where he's pulled out so much hair.
Paul, stop it.
It's been a lot of hard work, and it's been a fight all the way. A fight to get the right kind of school, a fight to get any weekend care for Paul. And it's bad enough having a handicapped child without having to fight for everything.
Tom Allen's plight is even bleaker than Paul's. Probably autistic and unable to speak, he's been in 7 institutions in the past 4 years. In desperation, he's been confined to a ward of disturbed adults in a mental handicap hospital. He's just 10 years old. It's totally unsuitable, but the authorities had no alternative.
I was asked on a Saturday afternoon to find a place for him by the next morning. And he was a little boy with obviously very special needs. He had an obvious mental handicap. He had very little language. His behaviour had been very disturbed such he couldn't be maintained within a social services home. And I rang all the way around the region to find somewhere suitable. And I just could find nowhere in the region, the whole of the Mersey region, that was suitable for this little boy. And Tom was obviously in immense distress himself, sobbing and screaming. I just can't tell you how distressing it was. And it wasn't just that his behaviour distressed others, but he was obviously so desperately, desperately unhappy, and yet had no way of communicating this.
You won't give me a drink. On ton education officer. On ton education officer.
Yeah, well.
And a good time was slapping on my back. And a good time was slapping on my back, all of you. And a good time was slapping me on my back.
Tom here is on a ward with individuals who are recognised as having severe behavioural problems, likely to violent attacks and so forth. And they are looked after in a highly staffed ward, which is a pretty secure ward. He obviously will see other people's behaviour, their difficult behaviour. It's better for kids to be in a family setting if possible, I think, family type setting, and perhaps with other children.
What do you think of a system that doesn't have places for children like Tom?
Well, I think society is failing its responsibility to some of its most vulnerable members. These are children who have mental handicap, who frequently have severe communication difficulties. It's very difficult to key into what is causing them distress. Many of their families have tried for a very long time with little, perhaps less outside assistance than we'd like to cope. And unless one's lived with a child with this kind of problem, you can't imagine how disruptive it is to the course of ordinary life. I mean, Tom used to fly at people, bite them. I mean, really suddenly explode, and then suddenly get in these very destructive screaming fits as well.
You're waiting for a cigarette. Huh? You'll have to wait for one, right? No, you have to wait. I'm not having one now for that. No.
You haven't got me a cigarette. I haven't got me a cigarette. I haven't got me a cigarette.
I'm not answering it yet, no.
Is it coming from the bank? It ain't from the bank. What is that for? Yeah, that ain't nothing. Right, right. A cigarette.
Just stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, you know, I have to put it down, look at you, put it down. Put it down, you don't get that in your hand, put it down.
Go for a walk, Tom. Come on, let's go. Up here. Come on.
Whenever you're setting up provision for children, you tend to have in your mind a picture of one particular child, and then you set up a service for that particular child and hope that everybody else fits in. In years gone by, we had our picture in our mind of children who were blind, children who were deaf, children who couldn't walk, children with learning difficulties, and we set up schools and services for that group. We never really had in our mind a picture of a child with severe behavioural disturbance, and as a result, they've always just had to slot in somewhere to everybody else's service. And many of them, yes, have slipped through the net, and many of them's needs have not been really met for many, many years. They've been sort of touched upon, but their needs have never really been confronted head-on by people who actually understand those difficulties. And often we're now reaping the results of that lack of attention early on.
There's no better example than Dean Marriott.
Dean. Morning.
For years, his problems have been neglected.
You awake? Come on in. Oh. Stretch out. Come on, up you get. Come on. Don't you want to get up this morning? Let's take your pads off. Oh. Don't bite your clothes today. Daddy'll be wild. Do you hear me? Be a good boy. Hmm? Oh, yeah? You're a good boy.
Dean's mother, Brit, caught rubella, German measles, when she was pregnant.
Oh. All right.
Come on, Dean. Let's have your tablets.
Now Dean's mentally handicapped and partially deaf and blind.
Yeah. Tut. Let's wipe your mouth with that.
He has the potential to improve, but he's never had adequate training.
Do you want to sit at the table, love? Come on up the table for your breakfast. Go on, up you go. Mummy's getting your breakfast. Brit wasn't able to cope because a lot of the time he just laid on the floor and was what you might call acting like a cabbage child, as so-called. And there were lots and lots of times when Brit used to break down and cry and think that she was the only woman in the whole world that had such a child. Is that a bit hot, love? Is it a bit hot? No? Oh. His eating habits was extremely poor. He lived on Weetabix and drinking chocolate. Anything else you gave him, even a drop of water, he would vomit and be sick. He wants his Weetabix this morning, doesn't he? Brit.
If you can communicate with your child, you can get to understand what they're feeling. You can get inside the problem that they're feeling. If the child has got these communication difficulties, all you can do often is sit outside and feel guilty. Yet, the child is perhaps placing demands that is asking the parent to be working, really involved, hour in, hour out, night after night, day after day, supporting the child. If they can't cope with that, why on earth should they be feeling guilty?
But that's exactly how the Marriotts feel. Dean's now so destructive, he cannot be left alone with his mother, who's terrified of him. So, in the absence of any real training or treatment, 2 care assistants have to watch over him all day. Dean is just one of more than 600 people in the South East Thames region who injure themselves. The number receiving adequate treatment, just 11. The pressure on the caddies is becoming intolerable. Alan is just recovering from cancer, so all the heavy work for Paul falls on Debbie's shoulders.
I'm a bit dry and I got a little treat.
No.
No, Paul. No. You just relax, let Mummy get you dry.
Look at all these bubbles, Paul.
Hey, hey.
Look. Look. Look at all these.
No, Paul. No, just relax and let Mummy get you dry. Look, some bubbles on my finger. Your nose now. There. No.
Pull the sleeves down. Come on, calm down now. Come on. Stand up.
Up we come.
But things are looking up. After careful consideration of the family circumstances, Beechtree have moved Paul to the top of their long queue for places.
Give us a nice kiss and off to sleep.
Tomorrow, Paul is leaving home.
Now, Daddy's. Daddy's. Good boy. Off to
Just
sleep.
lay down straight away.
Yep.
Oh.
Here's Mum. Oh. Heavy boy, eh? Yeah, big boy.
Gonna give me another kiss? Are you? Go on. Bye-bye. Be a good boy. Go to sleep. Good boy.
All right then, Paul. Okay? You're a good boy, yeah? We'll see you in the morning. Bye-bye.
Whoops, dropped my trousers, look. Yeah, that's your red ones. They have to go in. All of them. And there's your favourite jumper. Should you put that one in? What do you think, Paul? No, don't smack. I see Beechtree really as the last chance. Even if it doesn't work, at least I feel we've given him the chance. He's had a good chance. Without Beechtree, I just don't see any future for him at all. None. None at all. Look. I can't think about it, really. For the new school. And take this to the school. Yes? I'm pleased to finally get him somewhere where they're going to work with him in the way I want people to. But I'm also going to be upset because it's breaking the ties with home. I'm upset now if I think about it, but really I'm looking forward to it from Paul's point of view. It's his last chance, like I said.
Give me the big car, Claire.
Self-injury in pupils like Claire can be reduced if they learn to communicate. But first, teachers must get their attention.
One of the basic teaching procedures that we use with the kids is to get their attention right at the start. They come in, they learn to look at us, they learn to sit down, they learn to do what we tell them.
Go to the playroom and find your shoe.
Good girl, Claire. Nice looking. That's
Anna,
beautiful, nice looking.
Go to the playroom and find your shoe. Good girl, Anna.
Claire's been with us for 2 years. Claire, again, is a severely mentally handicapped person. Some good things have happened to Claire. She's demonstrated that she can learn some skills. While she's been with us, she had operations on her eyes so that she can see again. Both eyes were heavily cataract as a result of the many blows that she gave to her head and her eyes.
Sweetie, for nice looking.
Anna,
Good
sit
girl,
down.
that's nice sitting. Good girl.
Lee, where does it go?
Lee is a severely mentally handicapped child who has a small degree of cerebral palsy, hence the caliper on his leg. He has no verbal communication skills whatsoever, understands a very small amount of spoken language to him or follow simple single commands. A lot of his difficult behaviour we attribute to the fact that he couldn't communicate his needs to other people. What we've done, painfully over the last year, is to teach him that he can get his demands met by using little pictures.
Lee, go toilet. Good boy. Lee, go toilet.
He, in fact, is a very nice example of a child whose very difficult, demanding behaviour has reduced dramatically once he understood that there was a possibility of communicating.
Good boy.
What's the boy doing?
Andrew, in fact, is a relatively bright but mentally handicapped child. He's very adept at signing, so he can communicate his needs to people.
John, you can have some coffee.
Andrew's exceedingly difficult to work with because the fist in front of the face, the heavy breathing and so on will cut right across what we're doing. It cuts across many of the rewards that we're also offering him to encourage him to do the things that we want.
No, sweetie, for Andrew. Boy. John, give me big. Andrew, look. John, give me big.
Once communication is learned, the basic skills can be taught, but progress is still slow. Children who are violent are usually dealt with by restraint or powerful drugs. Beechtree offers an educational alternative. The aim is to establish more normal behaviour within 2 years.
Good boy, John, look. You gave me big.
Hello, Paul.
That's smashing.
Hello,
Well, this is
Paul.
Nick. Nick, Debbie and Alan.
Hello.
Paul and Matthew. And Nick is one of our senior teachers, all right? And Tracy is our deputy. Debbie, Alan, Paul and Matthew. Right. And Tracy and Nick are going to show Paul round.
Oh, I consider us really lucky to get him in there because they have so many applications each year. Something like 300 applications. They get about 2 vacancies each year. So we're really lucky anyway to get him in.
There's 298 disappointed families there.
Every
so
year, yeah.
We're one of the lucky ones that have actually got our child in there, yeah.
Okay, so if you go with Tracy and Nick and Paul, okay?
Hello.
See Mummy and Daddy a bit later on, right?
Hello, right, should we go and have a look round?
Going out, Paul?
Should we go and have a look
Go
round?
see.
Hey? Right, should we go and find your new bedroom? Hey? Go and find your new bedroom. Yeah? Look, it's round this corner here. This one in here. Look, lots of posters and things up for you. There you go. Look, this is going to be Paul's new room. There you go. It's not quite wide enough for you, is it? Hey, to turn your chair around. I'm going to put all your clothes in the wardrobe, look.
Paul really shouldn't have come to our northern school because Paul is a child from London and clearly the distance from London to Preston is enormous and it's not the sort of distance that we would normally work across. We made an exception in Paul's case because of the particularly difficult situation at home. We did, however, have to turn down another child and the family in that particular instance were exceedingly disappointed not to get the place.
Hey, put them in the wardrobe.
Excuse me, Paul. Excuse me.
I wouldn't claim that Beechtree was a panacea. I mean, that there are difficulties, there are problems. There's a particular problem with us being geographically away from many of the families that we help. But my guess is that at the present time, most children with severe challenging behaviour get a very good deal when they come to Beechtree. Most of the other children, my guess is that there are a lot of people attempting to help, but that because of the fragmented nature of the services being delivered by health, education, social services, and the family, that it's so fragmented that those kids aren't going to make very much dramatic progress. That in fact many of those children are going to become progressively more and more difficult, and that they're going to end up as crisis children.
I think every major disability organisation in the land would recognise that they have children that they are failing to cope with. I think every local education authority in the land recognises there are children they're failing to cope with. And you go and speak to any of the families who have got a child with severe problems, you will recognise we're in a state of crisis. The crisis is incredibly direct to the families themselves. The crisis is becoming much clearer now to the education authorities who are faced with a problem of placing a child with severe behavioural difficulties. We have a situation now where the policy is that children with severe difficulties are not placed in hospitals. They are not placed in mental handicap hospitals. They are provided for within the community. The onus is now upon us to find a way of providing for them, of meeting the needs. It's a group of children who have never been in the public's eye. They've always been swept aside, always kept a little bit quiet. It's time now for us to recognise this group of children exists. Their needs are very strong. We have so far failed to meet them.
Excuse me, we're coming in. Come in, Dean. Get your mate.
The care assistants try hard with Dean, but it's not easy.
That's it. Come on. Come on.
He's virtually imprisoned during the day in a small flat. He receives no treatment, no training, and the authorities can find nowhere for him to go.
That's it. All right. Come on then, sit down. Sit down with me. No, sit up. Come on. No. No, come on. No. No, come on. Calm down, calm down. Come on. Gonna sit up? Gonna sit up with me, Dean? Sit up. That's it. No. 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 Come on. No. Sorry? Oosh. Yeah.
We do not think a hospital is a place for Dean. The ideal place, obviously, is a residential training centre for adults. But we've been and written and travelled to various places in the country, and we find that there are waiting lists of 120, waiting list of 80, etc. And being as these people are there for the rest of their life, you put a name down, but by the time your name comes up, you know, Dean would have been an old man himself. So, although there are places for handicap, for people like Dean, they're extremely very few and far between, and everyone that we go to is full and cannot take him.
Rock with the music. No. No. Come on, rock with the music, come on. Come on, rock. Come on. Rock with the music, come on. Come on. No. Come on, come on. No. No. Come on. Come on, calm down. Come on. No, come on. Come on, rock with the music, then. Come on. Rock. Rock, come on. Rock. Come on, rock to and fro. Come on. Rock with the music. Come on.
You don't sleep some nights thinking of things. And you do feel very stressful and have emotional strains all the time. You've got pressures at work, you've got pressures at home, pressures with the local authorities. Plus, of course, all your day-to-day things that happen. So there's all those things which build up and build up. And there are times when you have felt like ending everything, you know. You feel very very low, and it's those times when you feel like ending everything. Yes, it can be said it's a coward's way out and it's the easy way out and things like that. But unless you have a child like Dean, unless you go through all the trauma of all the kinds of things that we've had to go through in the past years, you don't actually know. You don't actually know. You can't even begin to guess.
The Marriotts are like so many of our families. They love their child just so dearly, and they will do anything for Dean. And they've worked extremely hard at doing everything they can to make the home the place for him. And often they've been up against it as a result. Dean can be very difficult, particularly when Dean's upset, when there's something wrong with him, when he's in pain. He only has some ways of showing that, and the ways that he shows it can be quite distressing. And when he's doing that, that can place enormous strains on the home setting. But they've carried on doing whatever they can to provide for him. And they will do so, and they will do so forever, until somebody can offer the appropriate setting for Dean. Up to now, nobody has been prepared to accept him.
Dean, give us your hand. Dean, give us your hand. Come on. Come on. No. No. Come on. Come on. Calm down. I think I'll do this one with this one rather than the bending and stretching. Come on, calm down. Come on. Calm down. Come on. Dean. Put your sleeve up a bit. Can you put your sleeve up? Put your sleeve up for me. Oh, right, we'll have this one. No! Dean! Come on, come on. Give us your hand. Come on, come on. No. Come on, calm down. Come on. No, come on. No. No, calm down, come on.
Move your fingers.
No. Come on, calm down. Come on.
No, Dean, no.
I think we withdraw. We're just staying here with him, but not approach him. Is that your blood or his?
No.
Come on, Dean, calm down. Dean, no. No. Calm down, come on, calm down. No. No. Stop it, come on. Stop it, come on, calm down. Calm down, come on, come on. Ouch. No. No. Right, we'll have to withdraw. We'll all have to go out, please. Okay.
This isn't just a Christmas party, it's also a wake. Just as hospitals are closing, leaving thousands of difficult children without adequate treatment, Beechtree Southern School in Hertfordshire, Beechtree South, has been forced to close down. And the Spastic Society won't spend their limited resources altering the buildings to suit a group of children who, by and large, are not spastic.
Sadly, this is our 10th but last Christmas at Beechtree in this building. There's been about 40 or 50 children who've come through Beechtree in those 10 years. And I think we can sincerely say that most of them have benefited from being here. For those of us who've been here for a number of years, it's particularly a sad occasion. And I think even for those of you who've been here just a few months, I think you will miss the involvement of being at Beechtree. What I wanted to say on our last Christmas was that it has been a great privilege to be part of a team who've been so dedicated and so professional in their work with these difficult children. I feel very privileged to have been part of that team.
At the moment, there's an incredible shortage of appropriate school placements for these children. Beechtree School has got its unit in the north. Disastrously, really, Beechtree South will soon not be offering a service anymore, and both these schools have got enormous waiting lists. Beyond them, it's really dependent upon individual local authorities trying to cope as best they can. I think it's perhaps the greatest challenge now meeting the special education system. How do we cope with the children who, up to now, have been kept away, kept out of public eye? Now they're here. The challenge is before us. How do we meet the needs of them?
Tom's emergency stay of a few weeks has lasted 7 months. The hospital knows Tom's environment is damaging, but they've worked with great care and improved his behaviour. But he still has violent outbursts. The staff have learnt to anticipate Tom's attacks. If he's not restrained, he will injure someone badly.
Paul? Paul? Look at me. Paul? Look at me. Paul? Look at me. Good boy, nice looking. Good boy. Nice looking.
For Paul, the work to stop him injuring himself has begun. It's a long, slow process.
Good boy. Good. Nice and quiet. Good boy. Avoid tickles. Paul? Look at me. Good boy, that's nice looking. Good boy. That's a clever boy. Looking nicely. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Nice and quiet. Good. Nice and quiet.
With the hospitals closing, with the hospitals closing their doors to the children with difficult behaviour, clearly somebody else should be looking after these kids. This seems to have devolved to the schools, but the schools aren't staffed nor they're equipped to take children with very, very severe challenging behaviour. The social service departments, with their respite hostels and so on, just are not geared up or staffed to take these children. And certainly families aren't. And yet it does seem to us, from the many, many referrals we get, that the situation at the present time is that the family are left actually holding the baby.
I remember a while back, a bloke who had a handicapped daughter, and I think it was a daughter, and he had one nervous breakdown. His wife had 2 nervous breakdowns. He was told his child is a cabbage. They won't be able to do anything with it. He had no support and no help. He was very young. And he took the child to the brook near his home, kissed the child, held it underwater and drowned it. That man was taken to court and given 4 years in prison. The man, to do that, you know, was at the end of his tether, and without the support that he needed, he wouldn't have done it. But he couldn't see any other way out. So that's how handicapped children and adults make you think sometimes.
Come on, you can sit in the sun, but there's no need to wind yourself up. Come on. Come on. What do you want? Don't you want me? All right, we'll leave you to yourself then.